Hey, welcome all of you once again. ISKCON Seshadripuram presents uh, life coaching with Bhagavad Gita. So we are going to see practical application of the principles of Bhagavad Gita in our daily lives. Okay. So before we begin, we just pray our obeisances to all the Guru Parampara. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All of you, once again, we are going to see a very, very beautiful topic, and that is breaking.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Breaking bad habits, right? All of us wants to break our bad habits, correct? All of us are going to have so many habits. So many habits are there right from our birth. We've so inculcated so many habits, right? Since the time we get up in the morning till the night we go to bed, we have so many habits. And many times we say that's my habit, right? We say it's so casually, we say, hey, that's my habit, right? Many times we say that because of our habit, we speak like this. Because of my habit, I'm like this. Because of my habit, I enjoy this taste. Correct? Many times the habit has become our nature. Isn't it so? Habit is also called as second nature of a person. Right? So if at all we have very good habits, that's going to help a person in elevating, in progressing in life, in becoming successful in life. But if at all one has bad habits, then it becomes a hindrance. Correct? Isn't it so? So today we are going to discuss about this topic. How do we break bad habits? Okay. Yes, we are dedicating this program to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And all the knowledge that we are presenting is all taken from all the scriptures and teachings given by His Divine Grace. So he's our Acharya, and we pay obeisances to him. And Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Only with his blessings we are able to understand all this knowledge. Yes. And we are inspired by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, who was inspired many times that we bring up this online program so that we preach on so many topics of this sort, and we can, all of us can take benefit in the online platform. Right? So he's the governing body commission and spiritual master. Shri Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj ki jai. Finish the prayers? Yes. So now, what are habits? Anybody would like to read the slide? Yes, Hare Krishna. I request anybody of you to volunteer to read this slide. Hare Krishna, Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. What are habits? Habits are defined as routines that are practiced regularly. They can also be described as actions that arise from some kind of internal or external trigger.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, habits are defined as routine, right? We make it as a habit. Routine is what? What do we follow regularly, right? On a day-to-day basis, regularly, that becomes a routine. Like, say, for example, what time I get up. Let's say, for example, we get up every day at 6 o'clock. That becomes my routine. So I start my day from 6 o'clock, right? Because that is my habit of getting up. So my day starts from 6. And at whatever time I end my day, again, I'll start from 6. Right? That's a routine. That is my routine, one kind of a schedule that we're going to follow. Right? So that is practiced regularly, and that becomes a habit. They can also be described as actions that arise from some kind of internal or external trigger. Right? So many things we do based on trigger. Like triggers could be external or internal. External as in maybe because of our friends. Like say, for example, I have developed a habit of eating something, maybe eating dry fruits, say for example, right? Few of my friends are following some kind of organic lifestyle, right? They have inspired me that Okay, I should also follow some kind of organic lifestyle, some healthy lifestyle, right? Nowadays, because of so much of mm, like stressful environment, we think that how do we maintain our health? We don't have so much of time to go to gym or do some kind of diet, etc. Yeah. So maybe few friends of mine suggested that okay, having dry fruit every day in the morning is very good. So I developed this habit of eating dry fruits in the morning, which is actually good. In fact, that's good. It's good, always good to have some kind of nuts, dry fruits before the breakfast. So that is an external trigger. Internal trigger, internally, I could have, no, I could have analyzed myself maybe after some argument with one of my teacher or with one of my colleagues, say for example. I realized why did I behave in such a way in that matter, in that situation? Maybe I could have behaved like this. Maybe I shouldn't have spoken all this, which has led to so much of exaggeration, right? Which spoiled the situation maybe. So self-analysis sometimes we might do, correct? So I might try to change my habit or behave in particular way, right? That is an internal trigger. Okay, so it could be internal and external trigger. Habits are formed, right? Now, what are bad habits? Anybody want to read the slide?
Mataji, can I read?
Yes, please, Nitya Mataji.
Okay. What are bad habits? A bad habit is a recurrent, often unconscious pattern of behavior that is acquired through frequent repetition or an established disposition of the mind or character. Also, bad habits may result from a customary manner or practice which can become an addiction. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, thank you, Mataji. Yes. Anybody wants to give us any kind of examples of bad habits? Any examples for bad habits? And many.
Drinking.
Sorry,
Drinking.
drinking. Yes. Okay. Okay. Anything else?
Smoking.
Smoking. Okay, Prabhu. Anything else?
Telling lies.
Telling lies. Okay.
Mataji, all these four regulatory principles, if you are not following it, it is a bad habit
Okay.
only.
It's a bad habit. Yes, Mataji. Okay. Right. So you all are right. So everything, anything that is, which is not ideal, which is not as per the good qualities, anything that is against it becomes sometimes it can hamper our life also, right? It can hamper our lifestyle emotionally, physically, mentally, right? So what is a bad habit? A bad habit is a recurrent, often unconscious pattern of behavior. Right? Unconsciously, we might do something, we might scold somebody very immediately, very instantly, right? Which comes out of our instinct nature, impulsive nature, right? Unconscious pattern of behavior, right? Well, how has that come out? It is acquired through frequent repetition, right? Which has come out of the frequent repetition, all right? Established disposition of the mind or character. So bad habits may result from a customary manner of practice, which can become an addiction. So bad habit can become a addiction. Just a minute. So bad habits have to be taken into account, or it has to be controlled. So let us see more into that in the next slide. Yes, we're going to see now few general, differences, or what we can see, highlights on what is good habit and what is bad habit. So can you all see in the slide? Can you all name what are these activities that are done as part of good habits?
Yes, Mataji, eating healthy food is in good habits, and reading scriptures or books is good habit.
Yes.
Meditating or praying God and taking bath and doing physical activity, all these comes under good habits,
Good
Mataji. Hare
habits.
Krishna.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So taking care of our body, exercise, yoga, meditation, cleaning oneself, being externally clean, internally clean, right? Having good food, healthy food, fresh food, reading, there are many other good qualities, correct? Getting up early in the morning, speaking softly, respecting elders, many, many, many other. What about bad habits? Can you all name a few in the slide? What are these? What is the person doing here in the first top left.
Eating junk food.
Eating
Mhm.
junk food, drinking
Eating-
beer, these are all bad habits.
Drinking beer, yes, Prabhu, then.
Bullying others. Like
Sleeping late night,
Ah,
doing these activities.
yes. Talking about others, yes. Waking up late in the night. Right. Yes, thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhu. So there are many bad habits like this, speaking about somebody else, mocking at others, waking up late in the night. Hare Krishna. Yes. Yes, so all this come in the many other bad habits are there, like could be the four regulative principles that Nityamaji said, like having alcohol or any other addiction. So good, even both are addiction. Good habit is also an addiction, and bad habit is also an addiction. A habit is actually defines what a person is, right? Habit defines a person. So very important that we try to introspect, try to analyze what kind of habits we all possess, right? Yes. Who would like to read this slogan? Very beautiful slogan about the habit. Anybody else who has not read till now?
Mataji, can I read?
Yes, please, Mataji.
Good habits are the key to all the success. Bad habits are the unlocked door to failure. Thank you,
Yes,
Mataji.
yes, thank you. So good habits are the key to all success. It's very, very important that we understand, okay, maybe both are addictive, but good habit has got its own benefit, right? Good habits will lead to success. Say, for example, getting up early in the morning. It's a small habit. Maybe we have started it very early, which has become a habit for me now. I don't know. I don't know whether it's good or bad. But because my parents have encouraged me to make me get up early in the morning, that's become a habit for me now. And that has helped me in becoming successful. Because anything, any studies, any activities that we do in the morning, it be usually with our great focus of mind. We do anything with great attention, right? That's why it gives us success. But bad habit, maybe say for example, we have something like sleeping late in the night or talking about my friend, chit chatting, gossiping about my friend. I lose friends, right? If I talk about somebody in the back of her or him, then I lose relationship. I don't have friends in my life. I little emotionally affect me. Correct? So that is why bad habits are unlocked door to failure. With failed relationships, we suffer. Correct? We don't know how to, manage relationships many a times because of this one nature of, gossiping or mocking at someone, speaking something in the behind. Right? So small habit also has got so much of impact in our life many a times. Right? That's why it's always we check, we keep analyzing our things, what kind of habits we are all cultivating. And now the consequence of having bad habits many a times can be hazardous. It can lead to hazardous effects on our health. Say, for example, can anybody of you give me any example on this? A bad habit which will have hazardous effect.
Smoking or sleeping late.
Yes. Now that we have the city life is mainly about waking up late in the night, right? Anybody, if we say that we sleep at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, how is that you sleep so early? Life begins after 10 o'clock, is what we get to hear many times, right? Especially Friday weekends or Friday or a weekend. Suppose you people will be getting up, all the night, they'll be enjoying, party, roaming around, right? This all happens in the night, people might say. But though it's a nice thing for some time, but that will have an hazardous effect, right? Or even working late hours in the night, anything it could be, right? Slow down or even stop you from achieving success. Something which we can really, get benefit. Maybe there's some subject I should learn or study or understand. The same work, if at all I do in the early morning, I might take just hardly 45 minutes. But if I sit overall in the night for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, I might have to spend so much of energy, so much of time. I'll burn out myself to understand or do the same thing. So the efficiency will be better when we do sometimes in a proper time, in the proper state of mind. Right? To give an example, right? So bad habits can slow down or even stop you from achieving success. Right? Ruin relationship. Yes, if at all I have Say, for example, anybody of you wants to give me an example? How can we ruin relationship by bad habit? What kind of bad habit I can have?
By gossiping, Mataji.
Yes.
Mataji, by
We can-
anger and
Anger.
Anger.
Yes, anger.
Um,
Relationships spoiled because of anger. Even why, even in the family or even in the office place, workplace, right? I'm a very short-tempered person. I cannot take something which my boss has told or my peer has spoken. Right? I might just give back whatever it's there. Right? It'll spoil the relationship, right? Because I have to maintain some kind of basic, healthy relationship with anybody whom I work, whomever I deal with in day-to-day life. Right? So that is why it's very important that we try to understand, at least find out, recognize what kind of bad habits are there in me, right, or in oneself, right, and then try to improve upon it slowly, right, and destroys one's self-esteem. Yes, any examples anybody wants to give? What kind of bad habit can destroy one's self-esteem?
Criticizing people,
Yeah.
body shaming them,
Sorry, Mataji?
body shaming them, like talking about their appearance or
Yes.
Lying down.
Yes.
All the time lying.
Yes. All this will lead to destroying one's self-esteem as well. That's why it's very important that we understand the effects of having bad habits. Okay, and now there's one wonderful story that I would like to tell you all. What happened one day, Lord Krishna and Arjuna, okay, they were all, okay, there were some things in the chat I didn't see. Sorry, Mataji. Yeah, physical damage to body, mind, damage, relationship, frustration, very proudness. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, so there was once when Lord Krishna and Arjuna, they were going on a, just on a walk, okay, evening walk like that. And after some time, there was one village people, they started chasing one person, they started telling that there's one thief running. And they were all chasing behind that person, started calling, thief, somebody catch him. And Arjuna came out of his way and he said, "Arey, everybody are calling, then what kind of, why are you running? From whom are you trying to escape?" So he just caught hold of him and he just, made him stand, in a position. And then everybody started telling that, thank you that you caught him. You know how he's a big thief. Every day he comes and steals. And this person started saying, and then even Lord Krishna was there. So he asked him, what kind of punishment, what kind of wrong activity have you done? Then he said that I have stolen fruits from the trees. Okay, then people said he does it every day. So that is where the reason we are trying to catch him. Yeah. And this person told that, yes, I have done it because I was feeling very hungry and I tried to pluck the fruits and I just tried to fulfill my stomach. Okay, now I have done this, so please forgive me. I'll not do it again. He said this. Okay, so immediately before anybody could tell, he just tried to ask for forgiveness. And then first Krishna said, okay, because you have done this theft, stealing of the fruits from somebody's garden without taking a permission, right? That is a mistake, right? If you're hungry, you can always ask someone. You can always tell your problem. There'll be somebody who can help. That nobody will stop you from taking a fruit or giving a fruit. But this person tried to do it himself. Okay, that's the first mistake. And Lord Krishna said, okay, you just don't catch him and put him somewhere. Instead, make him work in the field for 1 month. Then people were happy. Okay, let him work for some days. He'll be of some use for us because for the thing that he has done, he's getting the reward for that. Then this person immediately started telling like, no, please forgive me. I'll not do it again. This is the first time that I have done, so I'll not do it again. Is what this person, the thief started telling. And Lord Krishna understood. Said, okay, now that you're directly asking for forgiveness, now the punishment is going to be not for 1 month, you're going to work in the field for 6 months for free. Then Arjuna did not understand, neither the villagers could properly understand. And this person left that place, that thief. Okay, I'll take it for 6 months and I'll do it, as you say. Then when Arjuna asked Lord Krishna, why is it that, he asked for forgiveness? You had given him 1 month of punishment, but still you extended the punishment for 6 months. What is the reason? Then Krishna told one more story to make him understand how a small problem can become a big problem. What happened? Now there's one more story in the story. This is a Brahmana, poor Brahmana. he was finding very difficult to, get meals, 2 meals per day also. Okay. So he thought, today let me go to king and I'll pray, I'll beg to him for, some money, some donation, some charity, so that I can lead my family happily for a few more months. My wife did not have any food to eat, no clothes, everything is torn. So difficult times we are going through. Let me just go to king today, is what he decided. And in order to, the king was very generous, he was very charitable, but he used to always check, yogyata means a person, is he really eligible to take the charity or not, is what king will always check, and only then he'll give the charity. Now there are 4 conditions to go and approach this king. Okay, there are 4 doors. In fact, there's one door number 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and in door number 1, there'll be a lady who will be waiting. Anybody who enters through the door number 1, they have to satisfy her. Door number 2, there'll be one condition. Door 3, there's one more condition. Door 4, there's one more condition. So now this poor Brahmana, he entered the door 1 and he saw this lady who was sitting. She was actually a prostitute. And she said that I always stay in this door number 1. No, if at all you have to go and meet the king, you have to go pass through this door. So you have to satisfy me and then this Brahmana said, no. How can I do this activity? It's very, very bad. I am a religious Brahmana. I have my own duties. I have my family. I cannot do this activity. Please forgive me. I cannot do this. I cannot take this condition. Then she said, okay, there's one more door. You can try the second door. There's always another door to go to the king. Okay. Then this person said, okay, let me go to second king. The second door. Through second door, let me try to approach the king. And in second door, when he opened, there was one, security guard. And the security guard said, see, Mr. Brahmana, if at all you have to go and meet the king, then you have to satisfy one thing. See here, there's one more security guard who will be there. If at all you have to cross that door, then that person likes eating meat. So even you will have to accompany him in eating meat, and only then you can enter into that door. Then he said, no, how can I eat meat? I am a learned Brahmana. I read scriptures and all. I maintain very clean lifestyle. I cannot do this activity. I cannot kill any human, any animal for that matter. I cannot eat meat. No. I'm a vegetarian. I cannot do that. Then, okay, your choice. There is one more door you can try out. If at all you get a chance to meet king, you can try it. Okay, he says, and this Brahmana goes to third door. Okay, you all are there, right? You all understanding, right? So first door, the lady was impelling, but this person did not agree. Second door, the security guard said you have to eat meat, otherwise you'll not be given a chance to meet the king. Then this Brahmana denied, no, I cannot do this. Now the third door, he's saying that there are many drunkards. No, they're all sitting and they're drinking, they're enjoying, they're talking this, that, chit-chatting and all that. And they all said, come on, join us. We all are getting chance to go and meet king. You come and join with us. Then this person said, no, I cannot do this. Drinking means it's very, very bad habit. I cannot do this. I don't have any kind of habit like this. I've never touched this liquor at all. So I'll not try this. Then the security guard came, okay. Then there's only one last gate for you, which is the 4th gate. See, if at all you want to go and meet the king, that's the only gate left for you. You have denied all the 3 now. Now there's the 4th gate now. So he'll go inside the 4th door and he sees that people are playing, gambling there. They're putting money and they're trying to get some money and all that. And this person started thinking, Brahmana, okay, now this is the only last option that I have. The first one was very bad. I cannot do that. Second one was also very bad. Third was also very difficult for me, drinking and all. Fourth one, it looks like not very big thing. What is there? Just, playing and all, cards and all. What is there in that? Okay, let it be. It's okay. I'll just do this activity and then I'll get a chance to meet the king. Then my problem will be solved. Then I can go back home happy. So what happens? This person, Brahmana, had only 1 rupee in his hand and he indulged himself in that activity and they were all doing gambling there. Okay. And this person, for his good fortune, that day, he started making huge money. 1 rupee he put, he got 5. Again, 5 he put, he got 100. 100 he put, he got 1,000. Okay. Then he was very happy and the full day he played, full day he made money. He was very happy. Oh, Lord is so merciful on me. I got so much of money. From 1 rupee, I got 1,000 rupees today. Today is my real day. He felt very happy, Brahman. Good that I took this decision of playing gambling. Then what happened at the end of the day? He was feeling very hungry because he was starving. He didn't have food, nothing. Okay, he came for the money for food only. Then while returning, he was thinking, oh, now that I'm feeling so hungry, Why should I not eat something? Let me have a grand feast. I've got 1,000 rupees in my hand. I want to have something nice. Now he started thinking. Then he remembered, oh, anyway, see, 1,000 rupees I've got. And in the second room, they were anyway offering me food also, right? Why not have today? Now, anyway, it's night. Nobody is going to see me, right? Who is going to see what am I going to do at the end of the day? Let me go and have the food. Even if it's non-vegetarian, it's okay. Let me just have today's meal. Tomorrow onwards, I'll be fine. Only today I'll be doing like this. Because anyway, I started one negative thing, right? So one more I'll do. That's it. And then I'll stop. Then he went to the second room. He had some non-veg. Okay, he had some meat with the other friends. And then once he had the meat, he started thinking, okay, let me have some alcohol also, the liquor also. See, anyway, I have tasted wine and this meat. Why not taste me liquor also with that? I'll get more friends also. I'll also get to experience. So anyway, it's night, right? So like this, he tasted liquor as well. So he did all the three. And then the fourth one, he was thinking, Arey, that lady had called me actually. I should not have denied her. She would have felt so sad, right? So bad. What is that? Today I started with one. I did one more. I did one more. And this is the last one, right? Only four, not many. Not 100, right? Only four. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it, right? Tomorrow, I'll do atonement. I'll do paschatapa. Tomorrow, at once for all. That's it. Everything will be clean from my history now, is what this Brahmana thought. And he went to the first lady and, she took all the money. Whatever he had earned, 1,000 rupees, she took entirely. And the next day she said, go from here, leave from here. You're not given the chance to meet the king. And he was sent out of the palace. Now, this Brahmana, he came with 1 rupee and he wanted to meet the king. He denied everybody first, but he took the last option, that is, let me do some little bit of gambling. And what happened? He got a tendency to do one more mistake, and one more mistake. And in that process, he lost whatever he had earned also. And in turn, he acquired so much of sins, right? Of eating meat and, having illicit relationship with the lady. Also, gambling, correct? So whatever he had, he lost all that. And on top of it, he became a great sinner. That is really something which we should all think about, is what Lord Krishna spoke to Arjuna. So many a times we think that it's a small mistake, maybe a child has done, or even we might have done for that matter. What is there? Kya hai usme? Ek hi baar to kiya hai. Right? Many times we think like we try to ignore things. And that becomes, that multiplies many a times. Since that I have already done, let me do it again. Just like how that Brahmana thought. This is the tendency of the human being. And that's why Krishna gave that person double punishment, so that he'll remember for his lifetime. If at all I steal things, then I'll be given double punishment. I'll have to work 6 months free of cost. Then he'll be very, very alert, right? From next time onwards. That is the reason I punished him like this, is what Lord Krishna said. Then Arjuna said, yes, this is absolutely correct. Many a times we do this. We ignore small things and we think that we can leave it, but it becomes a big thing later, right? That is why it's very important that we take into consideration, we give, we bring things into control right in the beginning. And when the problem is very small, it's very easy to solve. But a problem becomes very big. How do we solve it? How do we, try to bring solution to every small thing? It becomes very difficult to get into details, right? So here are the 4 pillars of Dharma, which we are going to speak about, because it's important that we understand really what is Dharma. The 4 pillars of Dharma are Satyam, means truthfulness. Daya means compassion. Tapa is discipline or austerity. Shaucha is cleanliness. Okay, these are something very important that we follow in our life. Austerity is taking, voluntary austerity for pleasing the Lord or for doing something right. Say, for example, a student has to study. It is difficult for him to switch off the TV, cut off all connection with his friends, etc., and just sit and study. That is an austerity he has to do, because that's his duty. That he has to do his dharma of student life, right? A woman after marriage, she has to work. She has to work in the kitchen. She cannot say, I don't know how to cook. She has to learn, she has to cook, she has to take care of many members in the family, right? So like that is an austerity. We have to do our duty. Cleanliness. So cleanliness is very important, because Cleanliness is next to godliness, is what we have heard. Correct? So external cleanliness and internal cleanliness. Right? External cleanliness is we take bath, we brush, right? We wear clean clothes. All this comes with cleanliness. And we associate with good, clean people, clean thinking people, right? Truthfulness, speaking truth. How is truth spoken? Truth has to be spoken in a pleasant way, not in a harsh way. Any truth it could be, it has to be spoken in a pleasant way. And kindness. Kindness is what? Compassion, daya. Daya means, oh, somebody is in difficulty. Oh, you papa. I have to somehow help him or her. Right? How do I find solution to that? Can I give some help? Can I help him or her in some way? Right? Giving charity. All this comes in kindness. Being merciful to somebody. Compassion. Like these are the 4 pillars of dharma. And exactly for these 4 pillars of dharma can be spoiled or can be destroyed by these 4 sinful activities. And what are they? They is what we just discussed in that particular story, the Brahmana story. First door, illicit sex. Right? Second door, eating animal food. Third door was they were all indulged into intoxication. Right? Fourth door was gambling. Correct? So illicit sex is going to destroy cleanliness. Okay, there'll be no cleanliness if illicit sex is involved. Illicit is outside the marital affair if there is any relationship with the other gender, right? That is called illicit relation. Indulging in intoxicant. So intoxication, any kind of intoxication it could be anything that will have an impact on our mind, which makes a person addictive to something, right? Any kind of drink, drugs, all these are intoxication, right? So intoxication is going to destroy the tapasya. And gambling. Gambling is what? While we are doing gambling, while we are putting money, while we are playing, even in the modern times, we say stock market, right? Even stock market is nothing but the modern gambling, because money can rise high, it can fall down. It's so much of deviation in our mind, right? We might mentally get so much of affected. Correct? So gambling will spoil the truthfulness, right? Many times we cannot be straightforward while doing gambling. We have to lie. So truthfulness will be gone. Eating animal food will destroy compassion, right? Actually, eating animal food, sometimes what happens, we don't even consider that it's a living being. An animal is a living being. He's also a child. He's also a soul. He's also a child of a god. We can consider like that. A pious person will think like that, but many times because of the gratifying our senses, we forget to see it in a broader perspective. We forget to see the detail, right? That a living being an animal is also a living being. Right? It also has got a spirit soul, right? So these are the 4 sins which are going to destroy these 4 pillars of dharma. Okay. Now, here something important we are trying to understand about animal killing. So we say mamsa, right? What is mamsa? Mam means me, and sa means he. Means I am eating an animal, that animal will have the opportunity to eat me. Right? Now that here you all can see the photo, the person's face is an animal face, and here an animal face is a man's face. Right? A person is killing this animal. An animal is looking at the man, and the animal is getting a chance to become a human in the next lifetime, and that person might get an opportunity, the chance of becoming an animal, and he has got all the rights to kill that person. That's what is going to happen, right? So one must himself see, if one has killed an animal, one must himself be killed by that same animal. This is called mamsa. That's why it's important to understand that animal killing has to be completely discouraged. Okay, this is told in Srimad Bhagavatam, by Srila Prabhupada also, that we should try to understand that every animal is as good as that person only, because he also has got a soul. He is also a living being, right? We don't have any rights to kill any animal, right? Next, this is the mad world. Now we are going to see many, many celebrities like this. We all might have encountered, right? We might have all heard of so many great celebrities who have become addicted to many, many intoxications, right? Like drugs or alcohol, right? Many have spoiled their lives. Anybody wants to name any of these celebrities?
Yes, Mataji, I would like to say, in the year 1990, a super hit movie called as Home Alone had come,
Yes.
and that was enacted by this picture, red T-shirt he's wearing. No, he's Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah.
You know, I born in 1990, but I watched this movie somewhere in 1994. My father took me to the theater. I still remember. It's one of my favorite till today. I watched that movie. It's done by Macaulay Culkin. But now, recently, not recently, I think 3 years back, I regretted following him severely. I thought I'm a big fan of him, but then he's a drug addict. He's a severe drug addict.
Yeah.
So he's a severe. In reality, he's a drug addict. In the movie, he's a very, very good boy.
Yes.
So I was fond of that movie, but unfortunately, in reality, he's a drug addict, Mataji. So this one figure I could figure out. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So these are all the beautiful stars, wonderful stars, who have achieved so much because of their talent, because of whatever good karma they might have had. They have become very famous. They are very talented, but because of the addiction to something negative, they've spoiled their lives. They go to rehab centers. They spend so much. They stay for so many months, 1 to 6 months also. They reform themselves, but again, once they are out, they again get into that, habit, the addiction. That it's so pulling, it's so negatively pulling that they lose money, they lose everything. Everything they lose, right? So, how do we give up this bad habits is what sometimes we have to think. We might not be having any of those serious negative things, but maybe the small things like procrastination or being lazy or, many other small bad habits that we might have. How do we try to give it up? Right? We have to identify some of the triggers. What is that trigger that is pulling me down? Now, say, for example, first day I tried to postpone something I had to do, some activity. A small, maybe I had to courier something. I just postpone. Okay, I'll do tomorrow. It's okay, I'll do tomorrow. And I just postpone. I developed a tendency of postponing. What happens? That becomes a habit to me. Okay, let me postpone again. Let me do again. That in every other activity, I start bringing that, right? So we have to try to understand what are the triggers. Many times, even for these addicts also, there will be many triggers. Let me have. Or we try to associate with those people who are having those habits. That is a trigger, right? Keep away from anything that might make you engage in the habit, right? If at all we are engaged in that habit, we try to disassociate with that. And then engage into something meaningful. Being more mindful of the bad habit, consciously doing it, consciously trying to, introspect, analyze, choosing the association wisely, right? Do we want to associate with somebody who have got those habits, or we try to dissociate ourselves and try to associate somebody who has got good habits, right? See, for example, if at all we are speaking about the habits here. Yeah. So habits, see, two aspects of changing habits. One is rejection and the other is replacement. Rejection is right away rejecting on the spot, that I will not do this, I will not do that. Just one second. Yes, worst one is rejection on the spot, that I will not do this. And the second is replacement. Okay, so rejection becomes very difficult because we will stop doing something, right? Say, for example, no, don't lie. Lying is very bad. Lying is okay, but replacing it with something, speaking no truth pleasantly, or say, for example, many a times the spiritualists also, they try to say that don't enjoy senses, don't enjoy this material world, don't. They'll be always concentrating on not to be done, what not to be done, right? More than what not to be done, we should concentrate on what has to be done. What is that positive thing that I can do, right? By replacing with positive activities, automatically the negative tendency, the addictions that we have, we'll come over it. How is we're going to see that in the next slide. Okay, we are there till now, right? So replacement and rejection. So we have to focus more on replacement instead of rejecting something. Okay. Yeah. And for that, this is the verse, which in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Anybody wants to read the translation? Okay, Nandan, read.
The embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment through the taste of senses objects
Remains,
but
seizing
such
engagements
by
experience
a higher taste.
He
is fixed in consciousness.
Okay, thank you. So, Lord is saying that an embodied soul is what? We are all embodied soul, right? We are all there in a body. That is why we are all called embodied. Simple, okay? Embodied soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment. Say, for example, somebody is having some kind of a disease. Say, for example, diabetes, sugar. What does Lord say? Oh, sorry, not Lord. The doctor, physician says, okay, cut short your sugar, right? All the white rice, maida, sugar, cut it short, right? But still, though he's put on a diet or a strict restriction, still he remembers the taste, right? I still taste that. I still remember the taste of a sugar. I still remember the taste of the white rice. Correct? So that taste is not removed. See, though the taste for sense object remains, but seizing such engagements by experiencing a higher taste. If at all a person gets a higher taste, better taste than the present, then he becomes fixed in that consciousness. How do we understand this? Say, for example, a child, right? When he's young, he'll be enjoying cycle, right? He'll be enjoying the cycle, right? Then later what happens? After cycle, will he be always enjoying the cycle? After some 3-4 years, he'll enjoy some bicycle, from tricycle to bicycle. Then will he be thinking of the tricycle anymore? He doesn't think, right? No, right? It'll come down, right? Then he'll go to a bike when he's in college. So will he be thinking of bicycle anytime? The lower taste that he was enjoying at one point of time. But now that taste no more, he doesn't enjoy that much now. Correct? The same way, when a person starts getting a higher taste, the lower taste automatically reduces. Okay. Now, if at all we are talking about how to curtail our bad habits, when we do engage ourselves in positive engagements, maybe positive engagements is, activities that are done in the mode of goodness. Maybe, rising up early in the morning. Many times when children are encouraged, or even adults, when we get up early in the morning, we tend to be very happy, very peaceful in mind. We feel that energetic day, positive day throughout our day. But many times when we get up late, we feel so much of negativity that, oh my God, I wasted so much of time. I could have done so much. Right? That consciousness, that concentration, so much is lost actually. For example, or, associating with some like-minded friends, we are very good. Sometimes we can identify some kind of pushers and blockers. There are two things called pushers and blockers. Sometimes a very good friend of mine maybe say that, okay, did you do something good activity like reading, or some kind of good activity like chanting or going to a temple, or any good activity it could be, right? Doing your assignment or completing a project work, anything it could be, right? That particular friend is identified as a pusher. He or she is pushing me to do something good, right? Then I identify and I try to associate with him or her. But there'll be some kind of blockers. Few people are blockers. They'll try to, pull us down, right? They'll try to discourage us. They'll try to, make us associate with the bad things, right? Arey, what is it you're not enjoying now? You're not spending your weekend with us. You're all the time studying. You're all the time, with your family members. What is this? You don't value your friends. What is this kind of friendship, right? These kind of people we can identify as blockers, right? Who will make us, will increase tendency to do more negative, right? More, associate with bad habits, right? See, everybody are prone to doing mistakes because all of us are in the three modes of material nature. Okay, the mode of ignorance, the mode of passion, the mode of goodness. So we have to identify who are blockers in our way, in our life, who are pushers in our way. So we have to try to associate, even when we are children, in schools also, we try to associate with somebody who is really good at studies, right? Not with people who are really all the time doing some kind of time pass and finishing off the time, not really studying, not really preparing. No, right? Because they're on the blockers. They will again, we will start imitating with them. We'll try to follow them when we associate with such kind of people. Okay, so that is why here Krishna is telling Param Drishtva Nivartate. That's a very important line to understand. Param Drishtva Nivartate is higher taste. When we experience a higher taste, then automatically we give up the lower taste. Okay, so higher taste is that we try to seize, we try to stop some kind of sense enjoyment, getting enjoyment through our senses. Instead, we try to, elevate ourselves. We try to experience ourselves, being with oneself, like doing meditation or, finding out more things about life, right? Associating with devotees, chanting the holy names of the Lord, only then, we try to lose interest in the dead matter or material matters, right? Inert matters. Because spiritual or spiritual related activities are filled with life. And material activities, it's just a jada, means inert matter. It's of an inferior nature. And spiritual is of a superior nature. That is why a person, when he becomes spiritually inclined, he starts enjoying life positively. He become very energetic. Sometimes, many people say that by chanting or, being very spiritually oriented, many of their even conditions become better, their physical conditions, their health conditions, their mental conditions. It's because spiritual life has got many impact like that on our material life. So that's why it's told that only when we have higher taste, we'll tend to lose the taste in lower activities, the inferior activities. Okay, only then we'll leave the less pleasure ones. Okay, now the example, the proof for that is when Srila Prabhupada, the founder acharya of ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, Srila Prabhupada had went to West when he encountered many hippies. There was a hippie movement rise during that time, and there was a Vietnam War when the complete state was completely disturbed. People were not having any kind of direction. They were all not following any kind of rules, the state laws, nothing they were following. And at the same time, though they were against everything, yet they were not at peace. And they were in very, very trouble. They were having so much of mental trauma. They were into deep drugs. So much of drug addicts. They were trying to find out a solution, okay, by doing some kind of meditation, yoga, so many things they were trying. And at that time, Srila Prabhupada actually, he went to the West and he encouraged these hippies to actually come to, he had opened a center. Srila Prabhupada had opened one Radha Krishna temple there, right in the middle of that area, and the New York that was. And these hippies, many times they used to come. That was called Haight-Ashbury. The area was called as Haight-Ashbury. And many people used to come there. They used to come for just taking food, in fact. Srila Prabhupada used to offer food and used to distribute prasadam. And all these hippies used to come for food. They used to come for shelter. And okay, Swamiji is going to speak something nice, positive words. They used to come sometimes, they used to listen and go. But Srila Prabhupada used to say that people who are addicted to sinful act, okay, if at all they take shelter of the devotees of the Lord, immediately they become free from those sinful activities, actually. And that's how all those hippies got transformed. When they took up the process of chanting, when they heard from a real sadhu, from a real, guru, and when they were taking prasadam, right, all this helped them in, elevating their consciousness, right? They gave up. Many people left there, they were drug addicts of LSD, marijuana, to illicit, and all that. Everything was there, and that was not in a minimalistic, very, very deep, that they were not even able to, maintain themselves, not even able to pacify themselves. They were to so much deep distress, all these hippies. But Prabhupada, no, Srila Prabhupada knew that Krishna consciousness, only Krishna consciousness could help them. And there were no other remedies actually. Other remedies were all just patches, some kind of meditation, some kind of, deep introspect, all these, this kind of patchwork is what Srila Prabhupada used to believe, right? Because till the time people identify themselves with the body, the cause of suffering is because they identify with themselves with the body. And once they elevate themselves to the spiritual path, what is the spiritual? The first lesson of spirituality is identifying that I'm not this body. Right? With this logic, with the sadhu sangha, automatically they all started getting the higher taste. And they all automatically left. Why? And many a times, even the priests, the church priests and all, they used to say that these boys were so much addicted. They never used to come to churches and all. How is it that nowadays they always want to come to church? They always want to associate with God. They're chanting so many times. How is it that they have all changed? Right? They just came to sadhu. Where Prabhupada, actually, they were all seeking for somebody who can tell, do this and don't do that. Right? Even the country, even the state, the local state, they were not able to bring these hippies into control. So much of disturbance was there. And at that time, Srila Prabhupada gave this Krishna conscious life to these people. And they were so much grateful to Srila Prabhupada. Because Srila Prabhupada was saying that, see, I am going to give you initiation if at all you just leave these 4 habits. That's all. I will accept you. Many a times they were not even, ready to even accept what Srila Prabhupada was trying to say. Right? It was that condition, but still, he began this Krishna conscious movement and they were all changed. They all changed from hippies to happies. So that is param drishtva nivartate. What is param drishtva nivartate? When we get a higher taste, we automatically lose the lower taste. Yeah, the higher taste is paradharma. Parodharma is spirituality. And aparadharma is the material thing. Being happy here, having great life here, having a comfortable life here, having, some kind of plans here, vacation plans, all this is all apara. Right? So that is what we're trying to understand here. Yeah, and Srila Prabhupada gave this ISKCON movement as a home for the whole world. Many people started getting married. They've all started having, proper marriage life, proper children out of the marriage life. Many brahmacharis were welcome. All kinds of people are welcome. All kinds. There was no restriction. Everybody were welcome. He was so liberal. He was accepting everybody. Just that you have to accept, you have to understand who is God. Try to understand the science of God and just try to love God. That's it. Whichever God you're practicing, you're believing in, just be in God consciousness is what Prabhupada is just saying. Because once a person comes to God consciousness, automatically all kind of good qualities comes to him. A devotee gets all good qualities. All good qualities. There doesn't have to separately endeavor for it. It doesn't have to separately think that let me be good, let me speak truth, let me do this, let me be compassionate, let me try to serve elders, let me try to be like this, let me try to be a good citizen. No. You don't have to keep on, putting a checklist, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, don't do that. No. A devotee automatically is a good citizen. A devotee is automatically a good son. A devotee is automatically a good husband. A devotee is automatically a good wife, good child, good student, good worker in the office, is a good boss. He gets all good qualities because he comes to his real position, constitutional position. Just like how a sugar tastes sweet, that is the constitutional position of the sugar. A salt is salty. A human being, or a man or a woman, comes to his real position only when he is Krishna conscious. Then automatically all his good qualities comes out. Okay, he'll come out of the modes of material nature, that is ignorance and passion, right? He'll associate with mode of goodness, right? So here it's a beautiful verse which says, Sadhu Sangha Sarva Shastrakai, Lavamatra Sadhu Sangha Sarva Siddhihai. All the verdict of all revealed scriptures is that by even a moment's association, even a moment with a pure devotee, one can attain all success. And how did these all hippies became happy? Do you all, if at all Prabhupada would not have been there, what do you all feel? What do you all think? Can they all had become good people? Could this ISKCON movement could have started? Actually, ISKCON movement started with the help of hippies only. They were the first people who started this. They were the first disciples of Srila Prabhupada. But if at all they wouldn't have come in association of Srila Prabhupada, they would have spoiled their lives to a greater extent. Many people would have spoiled. At least when we see that a person is changing, we might also think, right? Okay, let me also try. What is it? How is he changing? How is that he has got all good qualities? How is that he has left LSD or some kind of addict? That's what happened with all these hippies. Many people took it very seriously, and many people were superficial also. Many people left also. That is that it depends on each individual. But many took. Right? That is the positive thing. So that is what a sadhu can give. Right? He transforms our life. He reforms our lives. And that is why it's very important that people take association of sadhus. Who are sadhus? Sadhus are people who follow rules of God. As simple as that. Okay. God has jotted down few rules, just like how we have state rules, right? Traffic rules, state rules, country rules. Same way, God has also created some rules, right? And sadhus believe entirely in it. They have complete faith in what God speaks, in what God says, right? Just like how even in our Bhagavad Gita, battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna was so much disturbed. What should I do now? That he's a great devotee. That is the reason he doesn't want to kill anybody. But when Lord Krishna said that you are a devotee, you can become a devotee even by fighting. That is also a devotional service. Right? When he listened to the spiritual master, that is Krishna, then he became successful at the end, right? That's why we have to take the association of gurus and sadhus. And here we can see Sri Chinnajiyar Swami. You all must have heard of Sri Chinnajiyar Swami. He's a great saint of Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. And he says, anybody wants to read this? Devotees.
Shall I read, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
In the past, we had Shankaracharya, then we had Ramanujacharya. In recent times, I could not think of anyone except A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada as the Acharya of this modern times. Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes. So in this modern times, we had earlier many great acharyas who had come, who reformed so much in our society, who brought so much of revolutionary change. But in this modern times, only Srila Prabhupada has brought the revolutionary change, actually. It's not an ordinary change of making the Western world chanting the names of the Lord. Western world taking completely Indian Vedic style. Can you all see in this photo? People are wearing the proper Sattvic Vaishnava dress, the sadhu dress. The ladies dressed up in nice sari. Children dressed up so neatly, right, with tilak. And the men respecting so nicely the women, right? So all this is our Vedic culture. Brahmacharis, being in Brahmachari ashram, so that they can get proper training, so that in the future they can become a good grihasthas. In the future they can become a good vanaprasthas or a sannyasis, right? So everything begins with the training. And Krishna conscious movement is all about giving training right from birth. Right from birth. Maybe we have joined in middle, that's okay. But still we have got all the opportunity to get trained, right, in whichever ashram we are. So that's what Sri Chinnajiyar Swami was telling, that Chinnajiyar Swami was saying that in the modern times, there's nobody who is like Srila Prabhupada. His wonderful teachings, his preachings, his analogies, the way he has explained in his purports, in his books, right? There's no comparison to that. Anybody, any student can understand, and he can just become so much elevated, right? He can give up all the bad habits. Yes. It's very important if you understand that who is a sadhu and identify and associate. Yes. Who wants to read this quote?
Shall I read, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Choose your friends wisely. They will make or break you.
Yes.
Lord Mary.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Choose your friends wisely. Very important. Very, very important. Whom do we associate with is very important. Are we taking association of what kind of friends? Right? Will they make us or will they break us? Will they make a good future for us or will they make a negative future for us? Right? Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha jananam vidurashrayah na shaucham napi chacharo na satyam teshu vidyate. Those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them. Right? People who are demoniac in nature, They do not know what has to be done and what not to be done, right? Many people do not accept the Vedic injunctions. Actually, what is a good behavior? What is a bad behavior? A person who is, normally will think, right, what I'm supposed to do, what I'm not supposed to do. But person who having negative mentality, a demoniac kind of a nature, they just say, okay, whatever it is, everything is right for me. Because it is convenient for me, it is right for me. Many times we say in the name of practical, this is practical for me, so I'll do this. Right? Whether it's right or wrong, it's not, it's immaterial for me. Right? They're not called as Aryans or civilized people. Right? Civilized people will always think what is as per the Vedic injunctions. Correct? So cleanliness, right? Proper behavior. This is all not found in people who are demoniac. Right? We have something called as Manu Samhita also, which says about how should a woman be protected right from the young age. Right? But the modern civilization, modern society do not even talk about protection of the women. Right? They talk about something which is completely puffed up concept of womanly life, where they say that they are all equal to men. And how can they just equate a fish to a water body, a living being which is staying in the water? Can it be compared to somebody who's living on a tree? Can both give the same kind of an exam? No, right? A fish is expert in swimming and a monkey is expert in jumping or climbing. Or an elephant is good at something else. Every living being is different. We cannot compare the two, right? So Manu Samhita speaks about so many things that we take into consideration, like respecting women, protecting a woman. That instead of that, we are simply given some kind of liberty, some kind of freedom, which has completely spoiled the roots of our Vedic culture. Right? So this is what something we should understand. And then we have one more motivational speaker called Jim Rohn, who says, anybody wants to read this?
Can I read, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Yes. So many times we associate, thank you, Mataji. We associate with 5 friends maybe, right? And we become actually average of them. We start cultivating one quality from each one of them. Why are you doing like this? Because one of my friend is like this. Why are you eating like this? Because my friend like this, does like this. Why are you speaking like this? Because my other friend is speaks like this. We say this, right? We become average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That's it's very important, cautious that we have to check on whom are we associating with. And that's why in ISKCON we say that be very careful about the association, whom you associate with, what kind of friends you associate with, what kind of people we deal with, right? Now we are going to see a very, very beautiful story of Ajamila. This comes in Srimad Bhagavatam 6th canto, who was given a second chance. He's the only person who was given second chance. Okay, so this Ajamila was he's a ritualistic Brahmana. He was following all his Sandhya Vandana, his ritual practices, his karma kanda practices, all kind of different types of atonement. Everything he was following. Okay, very, very religious, truthful, and all that. Okay, and what happened? Ajamila, suppose one day he was going on some far distance to get some leaves, fruits, and all, for some kind of sacrifice. Okay, and while returning on the way, he happened to just see a scene, through the forest, in between the trees, where a very low class person was trying to engage very closely with a lady, prostitute lady. And this Ajamila just happened to hear the sound noise, and he also tries to see because the external energy of the Lord is so powerful, the Maya is so powerful that though he was very religious, though he was very disciplined, strict, etc., still he got allured, by that particular scene. And he went back, he tried to bring his mind back, tried to take control of all things. He went back to his place back, but still, he was still meditating, contemplating on those scenes that he had tried to see. And he couldn't stop himself, and he just tried to, associate with that lady, prostitute. And he left his family, he left his house, he left his wife, children. He was already married and had a very good life. But he happened to leave it because he got allured by this association of the prostitute. And in order to have relation with her, he gave the family, he married her, he had many children. He had many children, and because he had to maintain the lifestyle of that prostitute, he left all the good activities. He took up, the stealing, robbery, everything. He tried to deceive, tried to kill people. Everything he tried to took up actually. It's not that he did not do one negative activity. He took up all kind of negative activities, and then he was at the age of 88. Okay, and he had many children. He had, I think, 10, 14 children. And the age of 88, it was almost that his last son name he had somehow kept it as Narayana. And death was just right on top of his head. And when he was about to die, suddenly he saw three very, very bad looking people, who had a reform, one kind of very distorted face, very ugly looking people, very, very, see also they're very scary, those people this Ajamila happened to see. And he started, with that kind of anxiety, he started screaming, Narayana name. He started calling his son, actually, the last son whom he had named as Narayana. And because he uttered those 4 syllables called Narayana, automatically there were some very beautiful looking, form people who were having 4 hands, were having club, disc, Shankha Chakra, Gada, Padma. They were looking very much resembling to Vishnu form. And they stopped these people, these very ugly looking people. These 3 were the Yamadutas, the messengers of the Yama, who come usually at the last minute of the person. They'll tie the ropes of a person, they'll try to pull away snatch the soul out of the body of a person. And Vishnu Dutas stopped them. And Ajamila, Ajamila is just witnessing what is going on. He's unable to believe whether it's a dream or a reality. But he's conscious somehow. And these Yamadutas and Vishnudutas are conversing. Like, this is a very, very sinful person. He's the most sinner, he's the biggest sinner. How is that you're not allowing us to take him? You look so beautiful. How can he, how are you stopping us from taking him to the Yamalok? Right? And then Vishnudutta starts speaking that, see, because he has uttered the name of Narayana at the last minute of his life, which is the very crucial time, his all sins, the millions of sins that a person could have done in millions of lifetimes, all will be burnt into ashes, because chanting of holy names is compared to a blazing fire which will burn everything into ashes, right? Same way, because he's uttered one name of Lord Narayana, his sins are all destroyed into ashes. So that is the reason he is not into your custody now. You cannot take him to your custody, is what Vishnuduta said. And this Ajamila is witnessing all this. And what happened? It is also told that, many kind of atonements people try to do when they do some kind of bad things, right? People try to do atonements like austerity, penance, mind control, truthfulness, right? Practicing of mystic yoga, all that, or awakening knowledge in order to neutralize some sinful reaction. But Shastra says, Srimad Bhagavatam says that neither of these methods can free one from the tendency to commit sinful activities. Now that there is a thief, we try to, right? Yeah, there's a thief, we punish him by sending him to a jail. He has experienced the jail, he's there for some 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, and we think that he's reformed. But once he's out of the jail, do you think he'll take up something very good? Very rarely, right? We see in movies, in regional movies, we see that, a person has really changed, he's reformed, he's become very good, he's taking care of his family, wife, children very nicely. But hardly, many a times, they'll sometimes even again try to indulge into same kind of activities. They'll be planning out, how can I do this time much better so that I don't get caught by the police? And the tendency of doing sinful action will remain. Right? So in order to remove that tendency of doing the sinful activity, it cannot be destroyed by any kind of atonement. That can be only done when a person takes up devotional service. This Ajamila, who had heard the conversation between the two, Vishnudutas and Yamadutas, he was given a second chance by Vishnudutas. And Immediately, Ajamila realized that how big fool I am, that I gave up a good life of a Brahmana and I associated with a prostitute. I did so many negative things. I incurred so much sin, right? I left my family. I gave up all kind of duties that I was supposed to do. And I indulged in such heinous activity, right? And then he went to Haridwar. Ajamila went to Haridwar and he started meditating upon the Supreme Lord. And only after he became a devotee, he was sent back to Godhead, right? So that is why it's very important that a person takes up Krishna consciousness, even if he has done very little bit. See this verse, Neha Vikrama Nashosti Pratyavayo na Vidyate Swalpamapyasya Dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhayat means anybody who has done a little bit of Krishna conscious activity or devotional service, right? That is going to come along with that person. So in material life, one has to do anything to the fullest, right? One has to achieve fully. Say, for example, there's a running race, there's a marathon, right? A person has started from the start line. He has to go and reach the end line, right? Only then it means he has finished his race. He cannot stop in between. There's a complete endeavor is lost. It's waste, right? It's a failure, right? But in Krishna consciousness, it's not like that. In the devotional service, even if a person has done a little bit, even a 1%, that will come and protect that person very much. And that's how Ajamila was protected, right? Ajamila was protected because he had done some kind of pious activity in his past, and because he uttered the name of Lord Narayana, that came for his rescue, right? And that's why Lord says that you have to abandon all kinds of religion, right? Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. If one takes the shelter of the Supreme Lord, what happens? Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami mascha. All the sins will be automatically gone. Many people think that, okay, or maybe I am a very big sinner. I have done so many sins in my life. What about me now? I have so many sins. I'm not at all great. What about me? Even though a person who is very, very sinful, or maybe has done so many sins in the past, or even we have tendency now, but still, if at all we take up this process of devotional service, automatically that tendency of doing sinful actions will be gone, right? So that is why, without wasting unnecessary time in doing, some kind of cultivation of knowledge or mystic yoga or meditation, etc., person has to directly take up the process of devotional service, just like how Ajamila did, right? And many other devotees did, right? Only then Lord comes to our rescue, right? And here one Vedic wisdom in this Kali Yuga. Anybody wants to read the translation aloud? Anybody wants to read the translation? My dear King.
Hare Krishna, can I, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Vedic wisdom. My dear king, although Kali Yuga is full of faults, there is still one good quality about this age. Simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, one can become free from material bondage and be promoted to the transcendental kingdom.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. It's a very beautiful verse which says, Kaler doshani derajan asti he eko mahan gunaha. Means there is one mahan guna of this Kali Yuga. Though this Kali Yuga is filled with fault, filled with so many imperfections, Kirtanat eva Krishnasya. One is very, very important. What is that? Kirtanat eva Krishnasya. Who's Kirtan? Krishna's Kirtan. Mukta Sangha Parambrajit. And then automatically a person will be freed from this material bondage and he'll be promoted to the transcendental kingdom. Right? That is why one has to take up this beautiful process of chanting the holy names of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. A person will be nullified of all the sinful activities. Very important. Otherwise, what happens many a times we don't know what kind of modes we are into. How do we, stop our bad habits? How do we elevate ourselves in doing good activities? Right? Many good things that we can inculcate, like even in our Krishna conscious life, right? We have so many good activities that we can take up. Like, getting up early in the morning. Maybe we have very, very difficulty in getting up early in the morning. Raising up early in the morning is something very difficult. Who do not have practice of getting up early. But we can slowly practice. Like maybe if at all I'm getting up at 6:30, just waking up little 15 minutes early. Today onwards, I'll just get up 15 minutes early. That's it. Not at 4:30 or so. Just 15 minutes early, I'll try to get up. Every day keep an alarm that this 15 minutes I'm going to do for the sake of pleasure of the Lord. For the Lord's purpose, for satisfying the Supreme Lord, I'll get up 15 minutes early. Right? Like this, practicing little bit. And then how do we reduce our anger? Right? Sometimes, many times, instantly we try to scream on somebody, shout on somebody, we might lose our temper. Right? So at that time, we try to be little more tolerant, try to understand the opposite side, what a person is trying to speak. Or, we can even chant at that time, or we can even, many people count 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 like this. Instead of 10, 9, 8, 7, you can even chant the holy names. That is much better. That is much more superior. Right? We can chant like this. We can just think of the Lord that how is it that I'm put into this condition? Try to control, convince a little bit, and then slowly, try to understand the situation and speak. Like this, we can, try to bring control of our anger, right? And many times, even the social media is very, very addictive, right? We sit on short, we just try to see one shots. And like this, we keep on seeing, and so much of our time will be gone in that. At the end of the day, we would have lost so much of time, right? Fruitlessly. So we try to put some, check some alarm reminders. I sometimes keep reminders in my mobiles very often, very important reminders, like reading activity or chanting activity or some kind of activity. We can always keep some reminders in our mobile, regular timings, not like continuous, but maybe at 11, at 1, at 3, at 5, so that we are always on check. Somebody should keep reminding us, right? Who will remind us? We have to remind ourselves that your time is going on a waste. Don't just waste your time. Something should be there. Some fruitful activity I should do. Right? So we can keep some reminders like that. And that's how we can, stop associating with social media. And keeping our schedule very busy, fill your schedule with lot of positive activities. We should not have any free activity at all, because the spiritual life is not about being inert. No, not at all. It's being double active. We have to be double active by filling our schedule with many positive activities. Maybe going and doing our work, office work, in between taking some time out and reading, or chanting early in the morning. Right? If at all we rise early in the morning and start our day, we'll be so busy doing all the activities. So we should not give any kind of free space for indulging into some kind of sense gratification. Right? Because once we get little bit, that's how I said, right, that the Brahmana story gave us a nice lesson, right? Small thing we think, okay, only one shot I'll see, I'll think like, what happens? Ek ke baad one more, dusra ke baad tisra ke baad chautha, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 1 hour will be gone. I'll think, okay, today I'll speak to my friend just for 10 minutes. Then she'll talk about this, that, this. 1 hour, 1.5 hours will be gone. Right? How do we stop that? Right? Be mindful of it, right? Have a check on it, right? Have some reminders, some notes, some schedule. There should be some schedule, like just like how we have timetable for the children. Even we should be having some proper schedule for all of us. Right? If not very detailed, at least, mota we should be having. I should do this. By the end of the day, you should have done this. Right? Otherwise, what is the point in just getting up, getting ready, eating food, sleeping, ho gaya? No. Some fruitful activity you should be doing, something of higher taste. Param drishtuvani vartanti. Only then we can overcome our negatives very easily. We have seen there's a proof also in our community and our society. It's called society. We see devotees who have gave up so many bad practices. So it's all about refinement. All of us are born with some of the other faults, weakness, habit, etc. How do we reform ourselves? Is associating with the best, with the better. Right? Chanting is the best way. We are associating with the Supreme Lord, who is perfect in all. Right? We associate with sadhus. They are such wonderful guide for us. Right? We take prasadam with prasada, right? We offer to the Lord anything. It could be fruits, some water, juice, tender coconut, all this we can start offering little bit to the Lord, right? Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam, right? Lord says, I accept it when you give it with love and care. Just like how we feed our children, how we feed our parents, or how our parents would have fed us. With the same love, if you try to give to the Lord, we can become very happy, very self-satisfied, right? And then how do we, what else are the procrastination? We try to avoid procrastination by doing it immediately, right? Kal kare so aaj kar sab ya. Why not now? Something very important, yeah, we have to prioritize again, something very, very important, we'll prioritize it, and something which is less important, we can do it a little later also. That is not a thing. But about what are we procrastinating? Is it something very important that I'm procrastinating every day? That should not be the case, right? Learn to prioritize things, right? And try to understand what is our real duty, right? We should try to understand what is the real duty. Try to follow it. How do we follow it? Is by associating with like-minded people, higher thinking people, like that. That's how we can easily overcome. We can easily, very easily, our anger, our short-temperedness. Many people have conquered it, right? That's how we can achieve all this. Okay. And now we have come to the end of our presentation. Yes, we have Gita Gyan registration, which is coming up in the month of, I think, April. So please do encourage many of your friends, colleagues who can, benefit by registering to this program. They can understand Bhagavad Gita, understand this knowledge which Supreme Lord is giving to all of us, right? Apply in our lives and then make our lives perfect. Okay. Then we also give this Gita Gyan certificate of completion. Yes. Anybody has got any questions, we can take it up. Thank you all for your time giving on the Sunday evening. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you so much.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you for your time.
Mataji, the link for the April.
Yes, Prabhu. You're looking out for the link for the April, Prabhuji. I am going to send it. You are in which group, Prabhuji?
This I don't remember his name.
You must be in one of the Gita Gyan groups, Prabhu. I'll be sending it to you, Prabhu.
That computer engineer group.
Okay.
Sridhar or something.
Sridhar, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. I'll send you, Prabhu. I know you, Prabhu. I'll send you the name.
In Gita Gyan also you can put it.
Yeah.
In our Bhakti Vriksha.
Bhakti Vriksha. Sure, Prabhu. I'll send you. So please encourage your friends, your colleagues, your
Already most of my relatives and friends are asking for it.
Okay.
I told them you wait for 1 month. In the month of April it will be given.
Yes. Okay, yes. There is
even
a link.
In Bengali and Telugu also. Bengali and Telugu.
Yes, Prabhu. We have in all the languages. Prabhu, you can see the link in the chat.
Okay. You have pinged it?
Yes, Prabhu. Can you please see here? Send it to you also, send to everyone.
Just chat. How can I open?
Yes, can you click, Prabhu? Can you open it? I'm able to open. If you want, I can share my screen.
Mataji, like that. I'm waiting chat. Yes, here bit ly Gita Gyan.
Yes, bit.Gita Gyan. Yes, Prabhu, the same one. Yes, you all can encourage your.
That chart I can open after your meeting is closed. Zoom is closed.
Yes. You can just save it, Prabhuji. You can save that link somewhere. Or else I will send it in the group also.
Okay.
Okay, I'll send it in the group. Gita Gyan groups. Okay. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam,
Premamayi Mataji. Thank you for joining.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.
Ashwini Mataji, thank you. Anybody wants to share something? You all want to share any experiences, or how did you feel this seminar? Did you all like it? Was it informative, beneficial, something that we can apply? Share.
Can I?
Yes, Prabhuji.
First of all, thank you so much, Mataji, for this wonderful session.
Thank you.
I would like to tell one incident long back, especially about eating meat. How does it affect your consciousness? It is a true story. I don't remember the year, and I don't have the link also, but it is a very true story. In America, in one of the universities, in a hostel, in the evening, the boys, after eating food, became very violent and started fighting. The college authorities set up a committee to find out what exactly was the cause. So they came to a very surprising conclusion that that particular evening, the meat that was served in the slaughterhouse, the animals were not wanting to be slaughtered and were very violent.
Okay.
And the same thing carried over to the students.
True.
So after this incident, it was a real shocker. And I am also now a pure vegetarian. And I always tell people so, but people always say कि तुम अपना काम करो, हम अपना काम करेंगे. And since it has been very long that we all of us have Bhagavad Gita in our homes, but very rarely do we read. So these Gita Gyan sessions of all the 18 adhyay that was held was it's even though it is late at this age to learn so much, I was just wondering why not it happened earlier. And it's so surprising that in we being Sanatani Hindus and we call ourselves Sanatani Hindus, why it is not being made compulsory in the schools,
Yes.
where every child should know about Bhagavad Gita and its teachings, and all their misconceptions about so many things will get cleared, as I have been able to understand. And now when you send the link, I have already spoken to a lot of my relatives and friends, and they are very eager to join this.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Yes. Anybody wants to share anything else? Thank you, Prabhuji. Anybody
Hare
else?
Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Just another enlightening session from you, Mataji. This was really enlightening. I'll try to adapt. Even I have a lot of anarthas or bad habits in me still. In a sense, not big bang, but small, like getting a plate like that and all. I'll try to adapt some of the things what Krishna has said in Bhagavad Gita.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you. Dandavat Pranam, Mataji. So we can also say, for example, just like how when we were students, with respect to group study, right? We will be saying, I read this much. Oh, you read this much? Okay, let me also read this much. And something like that, we can also have a good, healthy competition. There's no harm in having healthy competition. So we can say, oh, no, I woke up at 6 o'clock. Okay, you woke up at 6 o'clock. Okay, let me also start getting up at 6 o'clock. Like this, we can encourage one another, we all can inspire each other, by being in groups like this, we cultivate the good habits. Yeah.
Yes, Mataji, sure.
And also that replacement, Mataji, that you have asked us to do.
Yeah.
Because it was always rejection, and that don't never used to work.
Correct.
This was very enlightening. Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah. Rejection is very difficult. Yeah, that's why in Krishna conscious movement also, we don't speak about, I don't do that, don't do this. No, not from the first day. No, not at all. From the first, we say, just take up chanting, just chant and come to temple, have some Sunday feast. That's what we encourage, right? We never say on the first day, don't, this. No, rules are not first. First is cultivating something good. Automatically, when we take something good, or the bad will automatically leave. Maybe if not 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, but at one point we'll definitely give it up. That is the magic of, positive engagement.
It will definitely help me, Mataji. Hare.
Thank you
so much, Dandavat Pranam.
Amrita Mataji, thank you so much.
Mataji, thank you, Mataji.
Amrita Mataji, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Indra,
Dandavat Pranam.
thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much, Dandavat
Mataji,
Pranam.
it is Sumit group.
Sumit group, okay, Prabhuji. Yeah. Sure.